Hello, it's Mara from Houseplants, New Jersey. Today we are going to go over my monstera stanleyana, or what used to be monstera stanleyana. Um, these guys are not the easiest to root, but once they root, they grow insane. So that's what we're gonna do today. All right, I want to check now. This is the first time I've ever had it on a moss pole, so I think that's where I went wrong. Um, I'm gonna take out all the hairpins that connected to the moss pole. All right, now we got our monstera stanleyana. So some of these had leaves on it. Now, a while ago, I had leaves like that long. So they were like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 inches long, beautiful variegation, everything like that. I did propagate from wet sticks. I have one here that's left. I sold the rest of them and they were cool. Like everybody loves them. So this is the last one that I had left, least variegation, but whatever, it'll grow back. And this one has a new leaf coming in right here. So that's good. So we can start all over. And with these, I'm going to do wet stick cuttings and we're going to start all over again. All right. So that we'll be ready in the spring to plant them up. All right. So let me see. I want to see what the roots look like in here first. So I'm going to take it out of its catch pot, little face, little totem pole face. Let's angle you down so you can see. So I'm going to take it out of the catch pot. And I want to see what these roots look like on the original plant, because if they're rotted or anything, we're getting rid of them. These are pretty good. I mean, I have very little roots on here. But let's see what this is like here. I have a problem watering my moss pools, so a lot of times, if you have a problem watering your moss pools, a lot of times they get soaking wet in that moss pool soil. This is fine. This is a good one. So what I'm going to do is, now I've always grown these in a little dome, in a little container here in soil. I had mentioned Kevin or something. He had mentioned that about rooting hormone, and I forgot all about it. And he was saying um how he does a lot in sphagnum moss. So I was like, you know what? I like things to grow into the soil because I feel like it's easier to transplant. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this soil that I have here, this chunky aerated soil. Let's angle you down again. Chunky aerated soil. All right. So there's a lot of like orchid bark in here, horticultural charcoal. We have some perlite. We have some vermiculite. We're going to put that at the bottom of this. Okay. Which I have a dome for this with a light in it. So the light is a pink light, and it's really good for propagating and for seedlings too. So I'm going to take that and put that in the bottom, all over the place. So we're going to take all this soil that it was growing in, we're going to put that on the bottom. Now I have some sphagnum moss here, all right, and I'm going to squeeze it out. Actually, I'm not even going to squeeze it out. I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. All right. So that'll be a good little insulator for those roots to form, I'm on a mission, guys. I'm on a mission to get these ready for spring. All right, I want a beautiful plant again. Now we have this root here. We're going to cut it midsection, plop that into the sphagnum moss. All right, and then that'll grow into the soil. We have an aerial root here. You see that little bump there? You want to put it into the sphagnum moss. Actually, wait a minute. I forgot. No. This is what we're going to do. I wanted to experiment more with rooting hormone. Okay? I have so much rooting hormone, it's not even funny. And I really want to experiment with it. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm going to pour some of this rooting hormone. It's just a powder. And we're going to put it on a napkin, okay? On a paper towel. All right? So what I want to do is I want to, forget it, like take these out, put them on the roots, okay? Put them on the roots, put them on each side, I guess, and then plop it in the sphagnum moss. Now, same thing. Aerial root here. Put it in the rooting hormone, plop it in the sphagnum moss. Now we're starting, like I said, we're starting all over. We have some good roots here. These are decent. Let me take some off. Yeah. And we're gonna cut. This was a pretty good one. Put some rooting hormone on that root. All right. And I also, this one has another aerial node. So we're going to put some on that one too. All right. Just in case. We're going to leave that a little longer. Put that in there. Let's see. Cut off some of that internode. Pull off that sheathing. Put it in the rooting hormone. Plop it in the sphagnum moss. All right. Bump right there. Put it in there. And you could keep these pretty close. Now these take, stanleyana, in my opinion, take forever to root. Okay? So they take longer than most monsteras. So that's why I was like, you know what? I really want to try the rooting hormone with this. One has a new leaf forming. We're going to leave that one on. I think we might need more rooting hormone on this. Let me get a little more. All right, here we go. There's 2 nodes here. One here, one here. We're going to use both of them. All right. And I've water propagated these. They've taken like forever in water, but I want to try it this way. I think it might work. So we'll try it out. Get that in there. Dried up sheathing. A lot of times these throw off runners, so they'll throw off like what looks like it's going to be a leaf and it never comes out. Plop that in the sphagnum moss. All right, here's another one. All right, so this one had a leaf forming. It's a runner. That's usually what happens, is they're runners. So we're going to leave that runner on. I'm going to pop that in there. All right, check these in like 2 weeks. I haven't had a nice plant in a long time. I want a nice plant. All right. I'm going to water this a little bit just to get that soil underneath wet. And hopefully that moss, like from the moss, it grows right into the soil and then we can work it out. All right, so now we have everything in our little box. We're going to put the dome on. The dome that I get, you could get on Amazon. So these little boxes, they come with like little separators too. And then they have a dome with like a light in the dome, which is like a pink light. Now I absolutely love these prop boxes because they're small and they're out of the way. You plug them in and they're awesome. Hopefully we get enough cuttings. Hopefully we get rooted cuttings for spring because I really, really want to plant these up. These things take forever to root. I've had one of my stanleyana in water for about 4 months now, and there's no roots at all forming. So I want to try it this way. Some guy, Kevin, he gave me like the idea with the rooting hormone, like I said, and I always forget about the rooting hormone. That's a tool that we could use to help us. Not everyone is a botanist. A lot of this is fun, just learning it on your own. If you ask advice to somebody that does know, they'll usually tell you anyway, and they love talking about it. So, use those avenues. Like, subscribe, and comment.